welcome to this little yoga class. Here I am in the sports centre, where I will hopefully see you all again soon. But for now, coming to you in your sitting rooms, your dining rooms, your studies, who knows, to take the next half an hour or so just to slow down, focus on yourself, focus on your needs, find a little bit of peace, a little bit of stillness, which I know sometimes sounds a bit paradoxical because we move in our yoga classes, but when we link our breath with our movement, we find some paradoxical stillness. I hope you get even the merest glint of that today. So we're going to start in a Sukhasana. That's an easy seated pose. It's an upright sitting position and it does not need to look like this. You don't have to sit cross-legged. Lots of people that doesn't suit them. So you might want to sit on your heels. You can use a cushion to help you. You might want to stretch your legs out in front of you. The important bit is what's happening in the torso. That you have got a neutral spine. You are not hunched over, because when we hunch over we can't breathe. Nor are you squeezing yourself upright with tension, because you're not going to be breathing then either. You want to let those shoulders go. Let the belly go so you're not sucking that in, just drop it down. Just notice whether you're leaning forwards or not. Sometimes happens. You might have a straight spine, but we want to try and stay stacked, as so to speak. So your shoulders are stacked above your hips. Easy line. You feel balanced here. Closing your eyes. You're breathing through your nose if you can. But the most important thing is that you are breathing steadily, softly. That your inhale matches the length and the depth of the exhale. You are looking for a breath rhythm that you can hold throughout the class. It's your foundation. By focusing on your inhale and your exhale, you cut out a little bit of that external noise. And you make some time and some space to focus on yourself, on your needs. For this class, I am going to use Zadie Smith's debut novel, White Teeth. It's a long novel. I'm not going to summarize any of the plot here, because what is important for us here and now is White Teeth is about our past, its influence on ourselves and our futures. And that is a big question in yoga. Because in yoga we say that you only have the present moment. There is nothing else. Now that can be a very good anti-anxiety technique to remind yourself that all you have is the here and now. But in a broader sense, we mean that you live your entire life that way. We are just one eternal present. And it's not that your pasts don't exist or your futures don't exist, it's that they are encompassed within your present. And that is what we see in the characters of White Teeth. Covers over 3 decades, 2 families, multi-generations, navigating the world and their lives, understanding how their parents and their ancestors' actions, decisions, cultural expectations have influenced who they are and who they will be. So the future sits there in the germ of the present, ready to unfurl and the past is lodged in your present moment, providing the foundation for what carries on. But surely to tell these tall tales and others like them would be to spread the myth, the wicked lie, that the past is always tense and the future perfect. We're going to have 3 more breaths sitting here. Now on your next inhalation, you're going to blink your eyes open if they weren't already. If you were sitting cross-legged, you're going to swap the cross of the feet so the other foot is on top or in front. If you're sitting on your heels, kneeling, you just stay as you are. So you're either putting your hands on your knees or on your thighs, depending on how you're sitting. I'm going to do my very technically named swirly ribs. So on your next exhalation, push your rib cage out to the right-hand side. And as you carry on exhaling, you push it back and you round your spine. As you inhale, you come around to the left and you push the chest forwards. And you're going to do 2 more of those, moving with your breath. And then you're going to do 3 in the other direction. So next time you're going around to the left and pushing back before coming through to the right and forwards. 2 more. When you've done those in total 3, just come into the middle. Just make sure that you've dropped the effort out of the shoulders. And on the next exhalation, if you're sitting cross-legged, you're going to turn over towards that right knee and fold over it. If you are sitting on your heels, you're just going to bring your chest and your hands down into a child's pose. So you make a little ball. 1 more breath. If you're sitting cross-legged, on your next inhalation, you're going to come up into the center. And as you exhale, you're going to do the same thing. So fold over that left thigh, over that left knee. One more breath. Inhaling yourself up into the center. Exhale, let the feet go if you're sitting cross-legged, or swing them around if you're sitting on your heels. And we're all going to bring the feet together. The soles of the feet are coming together, but they're not too close to you. You're making a diamond shape with your legs. So when you've made your diamond shape, drop your hands down underneath your calves. And on your next exhalation, send your hands forwards as far as you can. Don't worry if that's not very far. And let yourself curl over. Let your head be heavy. Curling into yourself here. Two more breaths. On your next inhalation, you get your hands back as you bring your chest up. And exhale, extend that left leg away, tucking the right foot into the left thigh. You just let that knee drop down. Turn your chest towards your left toes. Sit up tall. And on an exhale, you're folding over the leg and you're trying to keep the chest squared over the leg. So you might find that once you come down, you feel a sort of unpleasant pull in the right-hand side of your lower back. If that's the case, you lift yourselves back up. You square yourself back over the leg and you maybe don't fold so low. And now we try to extend ourselves over the leg. Just then in our diamond fold, we curled in. Now we're trying not to curl at all. We're trying to extend forwards. Think about the crown of the head reaching beyond those left toes. You do not need to hold your foot. You can put your hands on the mat and just let those shoulders stay back so that the chest stays open. This is your Janu Shirshasana. Two more breaths. Inhale, draw yourself up into the middle. And exhale, swapping over. So extend that right leg away, tuck the left foot into the right thigh. Again, take your moment to turn your chest towards the leg. And you start from a really upright feeling, so lengthening up out of the hips. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, folding over the leg. Same thing as before, just check that the lower back feels okay. If there is a pull on the left-hand side of the lower back, you need to lift slightly, re-square, and then maybe don't fold as low. Two more breaths. Inhale, coming all the way up. As you exhale, bring in that ankle so you can cross them over, rocking over to come to all fours. So you've got your knees underneath your hips again, your wrists underneath your shoulders. And from here, you're going to exhale carefully, lower yourself down. So now your hands, your fingertips should be underneath your shoulders, chin down for now. Inhale, bend in that back foot, the left foot, so just bend it in. Reach back with your left hand, see if you can hold it, and gently squeeze the heel in towards the seat. You do not need to touch your seat and your heel to each other, just keep the foot moving in. Last breath. Next exhalation, let go of that foot, drop it back down. Inhale the right foot in, reaching back with the right hand, gently drawing it in. One more breath. And exhale, putting it down, hand back underneath the shoulder. Tuck those toes and see if you can, it's quite hard, if you can inhale and push yourself into a plank. And then as you exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana, spreading your fingers. You really want to feel that the whole area of the hands, including the tips of the fingers, all the finger joints, are pressing into your mat. That you are pressing your chest back towards your feet, and that you are looking back in that direction as well. So you can look at your feet or maybe your knees. You're pressing your heels down towards the mat. You're keeping your breath steady. Two more breaths. Next inhalation, you're just going to walk your feet towards your hands, leaving them hip width apart. Exhale in a soft forward fold in Uttanasana. So make sure the head is heavy. You are not gazing forwards and crunching in the back of the neck. You just let that hang. Make sure the arms are heavy, whether that means the hands drop towards the mat or you hold your elbows is up to you. Maybe you want to bend your legs really deeply and rest your chest on your thighs. Also up to you. What we want, though, to see is that the weight is forwards, into the balls of the feet. You don't need to lift the heels, you just want them to feel like they're light. Two more breaths. Next inhalation, gently rolling yourself upright. Take your time. You might want to bend the knees to help you as you come up. Shoulders rolling back. Good. Feet together towards the front of your mat or your space. Ready to inhale, stretch up. Exhale, coming all the way down. Inhale, lift your fingertips or higher. Exhale, step the right foot back and then the left. Drop your knees, your chest, and then your chin. Inhale, belly down, upper chest up, so elbows point back, cobra. Exhale, rolling your way back, downward facing dog. Inhale, bend your knees, look forwards, right foot's coming in, then the left. Exhale as you fold. Inhale, all the way up. So we stretch up on an inhale, exhale, coming all the way down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, get those feet back, and you are lowering down, either knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, up to you. Inhaling in your back bend. Exhale, making your way back. Downward dog. Inhale, lifting the right leg up. Exhale, step that foot through. You're going to swing the left heel down on the mat. Inhale, cartwheel the arms. So you're coming up into your Virabhadrasana 2. You're looking over your right fingernails. You're stretching your left hand back. Bending into that front leg. Push the left heel away. Steady breaths. One more. Next inhalation, straighten the front leg, reaching the arms up. So you just lightly tap the palms together. Exhale, sink your way back down. Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sink back down. Inhale, reaching up. This time as you exhale, keep the front leg straight, and you're going to reach, reach, reach away from you. Reach that right hand far. And then you're going to drop it towards the right leg. Now you might have it on the ankle, on the shin, on the thigh, on the floor. The only place we want you to not have the hand is the knee. You're trying to lift that left hand right above the left shoulder. Maybe looking up at that left thumb, but if your neck feels quite uncomfortable doing that, you want to look sideways. Now, Trikonasana has both a vertical and a lateral movement to it. So you are stretching down into the floor and up towards the ceiling, but you are also pressing your seat back away from you and stretching the crown of the head forwards. One last breath. Now, as you inhale, you're going to lift yourselves back up into Warrior 2, so the front leg bends as you lift. Exhale, drop your hands down behind you, clasp them together. Inhale, push those clasped hands down, lift your chest, and exhale, slowly drop your chest inside your right thigh, arms coming up and over. Don't worry how far the arms come over, it's not important, just keep them straight and active. Try not to rest on your right thigh or prop yourself up on it. Your humble warrior, one more breath here. Next exhalation, let go of the hands, but keep the chest low. Drop your hands inside your right foot. You're going to need to inhale, lift that left heel. Exhale, drop that left foot down, untuck the toes. And if you want, bring your forearms down too. Or maybe you just bend your arms. Maybe you leave the arms completely straight. We are stretching into the hip here. We all have very different bodies. We have the same bodies, but they're different, if you know what I mean. So you might find that it would just be not sustainable for you to come down here. And you have to listen to what you need, what works for you. Keep the breath steady. One more breath here. Next inhalation, straighten up those arms if they weren't already. Exhale, tuck your back toes so you can just gently swing that foot back into a downward dog. Inhale, you're going to lift up that left leg. Exhale, step the foot through, swing that right heel down. Inhale, cartwheel the arms. Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. You bend energetically into that front leg. You're seeing if you can get it to be parallel with your mat. Reaching the arms away, look over the front fingers, press the back heel away from you, strong straight back leg. Have another breath here. Inhale, straighten up the front leg, palms reach up. Exhale, sinking back down. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, sinking back down. Another one of those. Inhale, reach up. The front leg stays straight this time. Exhale, open the arms. Reach, 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 reach before you drop the hand down. And we try and reach so far because we're trying to keep the underside of the rib cage long so that you've got as much space to breathe evenly and steadily, fluidly as possible. Looking up at that top thumb if it's appropriate for you, remembering that you've got those cross shapes of energy, so to speak, happening here. So there's that dropping into the floor, but also that energetic lift up. There's that pressing back at the same time as the stretching forward. One more breath here. Next inhalation, you lift yourselves into Virabhadrasana 2. Exhale, drop your hands down behind you. Put the other finger on top, the clasp that feels weird. Inhale, press that down, lift the chest up. And exhale, take your time, diving your way forwards into your humble warrior, arms coming up and over. Heavy head, it's just dropping towards the mat. One more breath here. And as you exhale, keeping the chest low, let go of the hands, drop them inside the foot, lift the right heel as you inhale. Next exhalation, back knee down, and maybe you're coming lower into your hip stretch. Maybe you're coming somewhere in the middle. Maybe it's straight up. Two more breaths. Next inhalation, straighten up those arms if they weren't already. Exhale, tuck the back toes, and you're gently swinging yourselves back into downward dog. Inhale, bend the knees, look towards your hands, get your feet in. Exhale as you fold. And inhale, coming all the way up. Exhale, hands down. Good. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, all the way down. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, get those feet back. Lower yourself down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhaling in your back bend. Exhale, making your way back. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, pick up the right leg. Exhale, bend it, draw that right knee forwards. Touch your upper arm with your right knee and then slide your right knee down, keeping the contact with the arm. And then maybe cross your right foot underneath you. You'll know what I mean in a minute, don't worry. Wiggle the left foot away, untuck those toes. Now, you will have space underneath this right-hand side of the seat. Don't sit into that space. Hopefully you can see how that twists you right up. Leave that space there, it's fine. You might be able to get your front foot much further forwards than I can. You have to listen particularly to your knees here. Your knee will tell you very soon if it's not set up for you to do that. But if you're looking at me and thinking, oh, it's easier for me when I have my foot further forwards, then that's fine. You have to play around and see what works for you because we do not have the same anatomies. Now, we're going to plant our hands a little forwards. And on the next inhalation, we're just going to pick up our back foot. We're not going to reach for it. We're just squeezing it in towards us. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in. One more breath. And then on your next exhalation, you're going to drop it down. And then we're going to lower ourselves down. So next exhalation, maybe you bring your forearms down. Maybe you keep them up here straight. See what works for you. It might find that it's not particularly restful to come down here. And we're going to have two more breaths. Inhale, straightening up the arms if they weren't already. Exhale, tuck those back toes and just gently swing yourself back into your downward dog. Inhale, lifting up that left leg, bend the leg, bring the knee forwards and slide it down the arm, crossing the foot underneath you as much as is suitable, sliding, wiggling that right foot away, untuck the toes, and take your time here in the middle. Are my hips as square as they can be? I'm not sitting into the side. Is my knee okay? You'll notice that to be upright in this Kapotasana, pigeon pose, pigeon variation, you've got a little bit of a back bend going on. That's okay. Just make sure that you still feel there's a slight sense of rise up out of the hips. Then on the next inhalation, carefully popping up your back foot. And you're just squeezing it in towards you. Notice how that might exaggerate that feeling of back bend. It's okay. A full, in inverted commas, pigeon, Raja Kapotasana, is a back bend. Keep actively pulling that heel in. And then next exhalation, let it come down. Inhale. Exhale, coming lower into a more restful prone pigeon. If you want, you can stay upright. You do not need to come down. 2 more breaths wherever you are. And then on your next inhalation, bringing yourself upright if you're not already. And as you exhale, you are allowed to very briefly sit into that space underneath the left-hand side so that you can swing your legs in front of you. And then you're going to roll down to lie on your back. And you want to make sure that your head is on the mat. So if your head has come off the end of the mat, just scooch yourself further down. And you're going to bend your feet in till they are nice and close to your seat. And you've got your heels in line with your sit bones. So your feet are not together. They're hip width-ish apart. Arms by your sides, palms down. And we're going to have a Setu Bandhasana, a bridge pose. So on your next inhalation, starting at the sacrum, you're going to peel your back up off the mat. So lift the sacrum, lift the lumbar spine. Now you're pressing into your upper back, the arms pressing into the mat. You've got to squeeze your thighs strongly, so you don't want your knees flying apart. The legs stay really strong. You've got to squeeze the glutes to lift the hips high. And you keep breathing steadily. 3 more breaths. And then on your next exhalation, you just gently lower yourself back down. Have a breath with the back here on the mat. And then on the next inhalation, you can pick up the knees. So just clasp your hands around your knees or around your shins and draw your thighs in towards your chest. And then inhale, lift the forehead up to the knees. And you're going to hold it here for 3 breaths. Next exhalation, let go. We are moving into our Shavasana now, our resting pose. And the most important thing about a Shavasana is that you have removed as many external distractions to rest as possible. So if you feel a little cool, you put a jumper on. If your lights are too bright, you turn them off. Maybe lying flat on your back with your legs stretched out is not the most comfortable position for you. Maybe you want to bend the knees in, maybe knock them together. The important bit is that you find as close to a sensation of repose as possible. You are as comfortable as you can be so that you can let go. You just drop all effort away, heavy in your mat. Our children will be born of our actions. Our accidents will become their destinies. Oh, the actions will remain. It is a simple matter of what you will do when the chips are down, my friend, when the fat lady is singing, when the walls are falling in and the sky is dark and the ground is rumbling. In that moment, our actions will define us. And it makes no difference whether you are being watched by Allah, Jesus, Buddha, or whether you are not. On cold days, a man can see his breath. On a hot day, he can't. On both occasions, the man breathes. You are going to take a big breath yourself now. Fill the lungs to their absolute capacity. Empty them completely away. Bring some movement into your fingers and your toes, just a flicker or a wiggle. And then you're going to roll over onto your right hand side and just take a moment there. Trying to keep your eyes closed, your gaze soft. Push yourself upright and make your way back into a Sukhasana. That is an easy, upright seated position, whatever that means for you. It allows you to have your neutral spine, for your shoulders to roll back and down, for your belly to be relaxed. Breathing through your nose if you can. Relaxing the muscles of the face. When we say, and when I say we, I mean maybe yoga practitioners, Buddhists, whoever, when we say that the present moment is all that you will ever have, we don't mean that as an alarming thing. It is both a comforting thing because it contains all the positive, all the wonderful things of your past, and it's a hopeful, optimistic thing because it contains all the possibilities of your future. They're all here now, together, making up you in your present moment. So I'll leave you with the last quotation for now from Zadie Smith's White Teeth. You must live life with the full knowledge that your actions will remain. We are creatures of consequence. Blinking your eyes open if they weren't already. Thank you very, very much for joining me on this class. I hope that I will see you again, either through another one of these classes or in person here in the Sports Centre when we reopen a little closer to Christmas.